Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of United Talks podcast. And today we're going to be talking about United Talks. This is United Talks Live, basically talking about everything that you need to know, giving you news that you can use, and everything in between. Today's a late night show. A whole lot of things been going on the whole day, and I was trying to figure out what we need to do, and then also preparing for the match preview actually for the Bournemouth game. But yeah, thank you for joining me. If you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as relates to Manchester United. So welcome to United Talks Live. Basically, your number one for sensible conversations regarding breaking Manchester United news, deep dive analysis, transfer insights, smart football decisions, discussions. And basically, tonight's live stream actually features a massive stories that are shaping the club's future. We're talking about Sergio Ramos taking an INEOS's stance on Sergio Ramos. We're also talking about Manchester United's financial results that have been released. It has been trending all day, so I was like, I didn't want to let the whole day go without us talking about this. Then we also have the official announcement with regards to £624 million. Many people don't know what that means. We're going to dive deep and break it down here. We're also going to be talking about Kobe Mainoo's development insight, because also that seems to be trending. We talked about it at length yesterday when we talked about Ruben Amorim and his management of the youth and how he's been using the youth. There was something I was supposed to bring to you yesterday, potentially bring it to you today, with regards to basically just Man United talking about Ruben Amorim changing something that led to Man United winning. I saw that. I don't know if I find that I will talk about it, but just so you know, if we get the chance to, we'll also talk about other news surrounding Manchester United. And after this, you're basically going to be seeing the match preview for the Bournemouth game, but it is what it is, because tomorrow is also going to be busy. We're going to be breaking down Ruben Amorim's pre-match press conference. But yeah, it is what it is. So first and foremost, we're going to be talking about, which one should we go with first? Should we just get this out the way? Okay, let's get this out the way. INEOS have taken a stance on Sergio Ramos. And obviously, Sergio Ramos, INEOS take a decisive stance on long-term Manchester United defensive target. In a bid to support Ruben Amorim's Manchester United project and ensure that it prospers, INEOS remain intent on recruiting top quality players, no doubt. But one name basically could have been an instant hit at Old Trafford, much like Matheus Cunha, Brian Boumans, and this one is Sergio Ramos. How would we know if he was going to be an instant hit? But obviously, we talked about this yesterday. Sergio Ramos has left Monterrey. His contract ends by the end of this month. He has left Monterrey as a free agent. The Mexican side were keen to retain him after an impressive stint, yet the four-time Champions League winner was determined to return to playing in Europe. Now, United's transfer links. Now, just 2 days ago or yesterday, I believe, reports suggested that Man United had tabled an offer to sign Sergio Ramos on a free transfer in January. As speculation gathered pace, all eyes were on Man United to see if they would pull off the deal. Everybody's like, oh, what a reunion we're going to have with Sergio Ramos and and Casemiro. But it wasn't to be. Interesting update has now dropped. Basically, according to ESPN, Manchester United have no interest in signing Sergio Ramos, as the former Spain international looks for his next club. Now, he has been linked with a move to Old Trafford, but United are not exploring the deal and no talks have taken place. Now, the priorities for Manchester United when it comes to Man United's transfer priorities, ESPN has also revealed United's plans. United are focused on signing young players. The recruitment drive is currently centered on strengthening the center of midfield and increasing the options at wing back. I mean, we talked about this yesterday, and I'm like, why would Man United be going for a defender when we actually really need a defensive midfielder or a central midfielder, and would potentially also need wing backs, right? So, well, why would Man United actually, basically be going for players like that. Now, the revelation dropping just as Ramos to United rumors began to gather steam should actually effectively end the speculation of a January switch for the 39-year-old. I mean, he's really old. Like, he's advanced in age when it comes to the game of football. So, I mean, like, he should be thinking of Saudi. Like, he should go to Saudi and make some money for himself. But the long-standing pursuit of Ramos, obviously, it is not a secret for one to actually know, despite the club's repeated attempts to secure his services. Like 10 years ago, back in 2015, United lodged a 28.6 million bid, only for Real Madrid to reject it. Fast forward to 2023, and once again United tried to lure him, but Ramos snubbed the approach. This time, however, it appears that United have, turned down the opportunity. Now, the defensive reinforcements that are eyed, especially for Man United, even so, while the immediate focus still lies in midfield and wing back, there are still hints that United's desire to strengthen at centre back. Indeed, recent reports suggest that Amorim and INEOS are urged to pursue Elche defender David Afengruber, who with the aim of pairing him with Lenny Euro in the heart of United's defense. Man United doesn't use two, so basically it's just all rumors, right? Man United uses 3 defenders, so you're saying pairing him? Nah, like, what's the plan? Anyway, so with that, now the Ramos news is out the way, we can move on to other things and break down the news. The one that I want you guys to kind of hold on to while we analyze other things is the Man United financials and what this means, because I watched the video online, someone analyzing Man United financials, but you know how these things go with Man United financials. So Kobbie Mainoo must learn a trait that made Ruben Amorim's Sporting the top 1% in the world. This is the news I saw. It looks very interesting, but basically someone already broke it down on X, but I had to find the actual report. And now Kobbie Mainoo is finding it. Yeah, so it says Kobbie Mainoo is finding it frustratingly difficult to break into Ruben Amorim's starting lineup at Manchester United. One thing I'm going to say about this whole Kobbie Mainoo situation is the fact that you can't rush process. You can't rush the process. In as much as many people want Kobbie Mainoo to play, you're not the one seeing this guy on the training ground. You're not the one seeing this guy do stuff. You're not the one seeing or coaching or managing the player. You hear ex-players come out and say, if I was Kobbie Mainoo, I would leave. I've wasted 18 months of my career playing at Man United. This. I could barely get playing time. I'm going to ask to leave even if he's on loan because I want to go to the World Cup. I'm not saying that the World Cup is not as important, but you can't rush process, man. Like, even established players don't even make the England World Cup, England national team, let alone Kobbie Mainoo. The more established players. I'm not saying Kobbie Mainoo is not good. Kobbie Mainoo is a gem, but he's a gem that is in a refining process. In the recent 4-1 victory over Wolves, Manchester United fans gave Kobbie Mainoo a roaring welcome when he was brought on as a substitute, like he has not been playing at all. But it reflects the feeling in the fan base that the 20-year-old Carrington graduate should be getting much more game time than his 183 Premier League minutes in 25-26 campaign. Even Ruben Amorim admits Mainoo deserves a start, but squeezing him into a midfield pivot has proven difficult because Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro are both in great form. That's the truth, right? Mainoo, and I've seen someone come up with stuff like, Kobbie Mainoo, I mean, if you're a good manager, there's like, Amorim's not a good manager. If you're a good manager, you find a way for Mainoo to play and you center all your like style of play and everything around Kobbie Mainoo. Like, we forget that Ruben Amorim didn't play Mainoo a couple times last season. Mainoo has been working hard behind the scenes, obviously, to force his way back into the 11, and he should take note of what Amorim loved his players doing at Sporting Lisbon. What made Amorim Sporting Lisbon midfield so great? It is well known at United that Amorim will not stray from his 3-4-2-1. formation that brought him so much success in Portugal. Amorim has tweaked his tactics at United since making a move to Manchester United, but generally his footballing philosophy remains the same. Now, that's the news I told you we're going to talk about, but we'll see. It's Amorim. Ruben Amorim. He says Ruben Amorim has given up on Man United pressing. Okay, so we'll talk about that. So, since making his move to Manchester United, but generally the footballing philosophy remains the same. The Athletic broke down Amorim's tactics in Sporting, and data proved that they ranked in the top 1% of being press resistant. Yeah, and somebody come and tell me Kobe Mainoo is also press resistant. No doubt he is, trust me, he is. But the Premier League is a different ball game. Yes, he has Premier League experience, playing 2 years already under Erik ten Hag, and now in Amorim's half season and Erik ten Hag's half season. But Sporting also ranked extremely highly for preventing chances as well as for their intensity. Now, that is what we lack as a Man United team. We lack the ability to stop others from getting chances against us. You could see that evidently when Casemiro did a lot of interceptions in the last game against Wolves. You could see how he was preventing Wolves from getting chances. And the one time we switched off and Ahmad actually switched off, that led to a cross from David Mola to Bellegarde. That's how they scored us, right? Now, Mainoo's composure is one of his best traits, and he's arguably one of United's most pressure-resistant midfielders. But Amorim has pointed out multiple times that he wants the young midfielder to add more intensity and pace to his game. And I said this in so many, in so many videos when I said that Kobe Mainoo. Amorim has come out severally and said it at the beginning of the season. Maybe many people have missed that, but Amorim has come out severally to say that Kobe Mainoo needs to build on 3 things: speed, intensity, and mobility. Speed, rhythm, and mobility. Speed, rhythm, and mobility. So with speed comes intensity, and with rhythm comes mobility and all of that. So if you have consistent rhythm, then you can actually be mobile, and he wants Kobe Mainoo to be mobile around the field, right? But Amorim, like I said, has pointed out multiple times that he wants the young midfielder to add more intensity and pace to his game, right? The report adds that under Amorim, Sporting were as likely to progress the ball quickly via passes into the channel as to recycle possession across the pitch. Amorim wants his central midfielders to break lines, take risks, and inject energy. Well, that's pretty much, in as much as most Man United fans want to deny it, that's pretty much what Bruno Fernandes gives us as a team. Now, Ruben Amorim has also told Kobe Mainoo where to improve. While Kobe Mainoo is incredibly composed in possession and is brilliant at slowing the tempo of the game to give United control, Amorim sometimes wants him to inject more energy into the side. Speaking at the end of last season, Ruben Amorim told Mainoo to improve his pace, not necessarily in terms of his actual speed, but his ability to increase the tempo and apply pressure to a position. Many people also miss that, and I'll talk about that next. His actual now, when I see Kobe Mainoo, this is what Amorim says. I see a lot of talent, but in the way I see it, I could be wrong. I see some things that Kobe Mainoo has to improve. His pace in the game, he needs to improve in the build-up. Amorim said in April, near the box, he has a lot of talent, right? Mainoo is competing with Bruno Fernandes, as already we all know, for the position, and Amorim prefers one of his midfielders to sit deeper, and that is the role that Casemiro is taking, a role that could actually prove uncomfortable for Mainoo, no doubt. But while Fernandes often attempts the risky pass or looks to inject some energy into United's attack, that is where Mainoo must prove he has improved, right? That, and we'll talk about the next one. Now, the next one I said we're going to talk about with regards to what Ruben Amorim said about Kobe Mainoo last season. This is about 10th of April 2025. Ruben Amorim identifies that Man United star who can have Casemiro-like transformation. This was according to United in Focus, Manchester United's season so far had many success stories despite the team not doing well, but the most surprising of the lot has been Casemiro. Right, Casemiro was widely tagged as the player who would be frozen out of Ruben Amorim, out by Ruben Amorim when the new Man United manager came through the doors. Now, one thing I want to also think about, I remember last season, many people were saying, oh, Casemiro's legs are gone. Casemiro's legs are gone. I think Ruben Amorim needs to move on from Casa. Now, Ruben Amorim benched Casa and started playing Toby Collier, and they're like, how can you be benching a 5-time Champions League winner? How can you be benching a 5-time Champions League winner, an experienced player, someone came from Real Madrid who can bring experience to the side? And then he said Casemiro needed to work his way back into the squad. Casemiro actually did, right? And obviously you could tell. I mean, Casemiro is old. I mean, he's 33 if you say old, but like, for the speed of the game, he's actually really helped the team, and it's evolved his game, right? That now, basically, according to this report, it proved to be the case that Casemiro struggled immensely in Amorim's high energy system, with the manager even saying he's not good enough for the style of football in England. Since then, Casemiro's resurgence has seen Amorim accept that he's been proven wrong, and even if it's meant a tactical change to free the Brazilian. Another Man United star has been identified now by Amorim as someone who can have a transformation like Casemiro. Ruben Amorim identifies next project at Man United after Casemiro. Now, this is another thing that most people kind of missed, right? Now, Ruben Amorim actually said, basically, that Amorim's time so far has been more of a revolution instead of an evolution, that has meant that some casualties are bound to occur. To Casemiro's credit, he fought back into relevance when he was cast aside as a casualty, after both he and the manager worked together to get him back to his best. So that's what we're trying to talk about here. The tactical change saw Casemiro flourish, and according to Amorim, it has provided a template for another Bellingham Man United star to transform his style of play. Yeah, I will be right back. Just give me one quick second. And we're back. Sorry, I had to take a quick call. It was kind of like an important call, but it is what it is. Now, basically, Ruben Amorim has identified that the tactical change saw that Casemiro, would flourish at the team, in the team and all of that, and provided the template for another Bellingham Manchester United star. And then, obviously, what this article is actually trying to say is that Amorim said that we needed to help Kobe. Let's help Kobe. Casemiro is playing better because we are understanding better the way Casemiro can play. I remember this press conference very well. He says, I think we can do that with Kobe. He's good on the ball and near the opposition box. When I see Kobe, I see a lot of talent, but the way I see it, I could be wrong. I see some things that Kobe has to improve. His pace in the game. He needs to improve in the build-up as well. So he's laying it all out. Like, these are the things that Kobe needs to improve on. Near the box, he has a lot of talent, and that is why I think he did a really good game in the Europa League in that position. But I don't see a full player at the moment. He's 19, so now he's 20, right? If I say I have seen the final player, I don't think I'm helping Kobe. It's facts. So why are we trying to rush process? That's the thing. Kobe Mainoo will be better off after this experience. Since Kobe Mainoo's breakout, his trajectory has only trended one way, and that's upwards. That can sometimes lead to a relaxing of standards, which stops growth. As Amorim said, Mainoo is only 19 and needs to continuously challenge to be better, continuously be challenged to be better instead of, cocooning him in a comfort zone. Before his injury, Mainoo was finding a new role at Man United as an advanced midfielder. When his close control and finishing helped him flourish, right? Now, with more time on the training pitch and playing games, Amorim like he did with Casemiro, will devise a new plan for him that unlocks another level of his game. These might look like, difficult months for Mainoo and a step back in his development, but sometimes taking a step back is necessary to have a massive launch forward. Like, it is, I don't know. I don't know why the media and even ex-players would want to rush this process. It's not really a process that you need to actually rush. You need time. You need to build momentum. You need to build the ability to actually achieve stuff like that. But it is what it is, man. I'm really really surprised that Man United, that ex-players are taking advantage of the opportunity for to actually push for Mainoo to play, when you could actually give him some time and help him build. Like I said at the beginning of this whole Kobe conversation, you cannot rush process, but it is what it is. Now this is another one from, this was from yesterday. I told you I missed. I was supposed to give it to you, but maybe I think we're out of time at the time to be able to give it. But Ruben Amorim has abandoned his two tactics used at Sporting Lisbon, and it proves he has adapted at Man United. That's just basically to just kind of, many people just want Ruben Amorim to. Many people just want to be right that Ruben Amorim needed to adapt. When Man United were struggling at the beginning of the season, it's like, oh, he needs to adapt. This is the Premier League, blah, 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 blah. Now, this is what this article is saying, that Amorim's tactical approach at Sporting Lisbon earned him a reputation as one of Europe's most exciting young coaches. Sporting Lisbon's dominance in Portugal under Ruben Amorim is the main reason INEOS picked him out from the Manchester United head coach role. This is as of yesterday. Amorim won Sporting's first league title in 19 years and transformed the Sporting outfit into the leading side in Portugal. His record with youth players also suited United's culture. Amorim awarded 27 debuts to academy stars while at Sporting. Amorim also brought his 3-4-2-1 shape to United and suffered through his first season trying to help players adapt to the tactical demands. This season, there have been huge signs of improvement, but also a few noticeable tweaks in his setup. Okay, let's see what they're saying. Ruben Amorim has given up on the Man United pressing. That's a lie, but it is what it is. At United, Amorim has urged players to control matches by dominating possession rather than rely on counterattacks like under his predecessors. Okay, yeah, that's his system. Control games. That's the system. That was a staple of tactical setup at Sporting, where his players would often starve the opposition of time on the ball. Despite Amorim sticking stubbornly to his formation, he has made some sacrifices within his tactical approach. The article is confusing and flipping. You said, okay, his predecessors were using a pressing style. He wanted his Sporting style, which is to control games. Then you now say the controlling of the games was a staple at Sporting, and he would also often starve the opposition of time on the ball. Despite it's a it's a confusing article. Despite Amorim sticking stubbornly to his formation, he has made some sacrifices within tactical approach, and that's a lie. As per coach's voice, Amorim's Sporting side were one of the most intense off the ball pressers of any team in Europe. Not only were the front three given the license to press, but the wing backs in Amorim's system would aggressively press to force a turnover. I mean, that's what we are seeing right now. That's what we're seeing at United now. There's nothing that has changed. It could be slower, but it is there. At United, Amorim had turned away from the strategy. As per Opta stats, United ranked 10th in the Premier League for high turnovers. Okay, in order to better protect his back five, Amorim is happy for his players to close up gaps and defend deeper than risk counter pressing after losing possession. Now, the reason why I have issues with this article and all of that, I can understand the whole Opta stats that they used to grade it. I can also understand the fact that you can talk about saying things like, why if you use coach's voice and stuff, all of those articles, no doubt, those are researches and stuff. I'm not discrediting those articles. But to come and say that Ruben Amorim has adapted, I don't think. Instead, the players have adapted. That's what you say. The players have started to adapt and learn the system. And what I mean by that is, Man United still force turnovers. Check out. We're 10th in the Premier League for forcing turnovers, but check the players that force these turnovers. You're looking at Ahmad, who is always forcing turnovers on the right. You're looking at Luke Shaw, who is forcing turnovers on the center. You're looking at even Matthias de Ligt, who is also forcing turnovers. If you watch games, you see when you press 1-against-1, according to him, or when you press 1v1, you basically force turnovers and set pressing traps. So instead of trying to, look at the game against Wolves. Casemiro forced a turnover that led to a goal high up the pitch. So are you saying he doesn't do that? Maybe not so often, but does it? And it's more of knowing when to do it and doing it rightly, right? Now, Man United's defensive line under Ruben Amorim, that's basically what they're trying to analyze now. Amorim wants aggression from the defenders, which we can see as a key tactic at Sporting was for the centre-backs in the back three to step into midfield and congest the midfield, the centre of the pitch. We've seen that multiple times. Luke Shaw, even Mazraoui. But you can see how Mazraoui is pressing high up, even up to getting to the 18-yard box. To help limit the space for attackers, we saw that Matthias de Ligt did it a lot this season. Amorim implemented a very high line of defense at Sporting. However, he is missing the right personnel to make that work at United. You could say that, right? Amorim also admitted that both Harry Maguire and Matthias de Ligt struggled in a high line, so he has been forced to adapt and play deeper at United. That's actually a lie, but the truth is, Amorim has admitted it, no doubt, but it's something that they can improve. Harry Maguire, yes, albeit slower, but de Ligt, no. You can say de Ligt is not slower, right? You see Luke Shaw and Mazraoui, the way they press, even Lenny Euro as well, the way he presses very high, tries to win the ball really high and then also be able to recover. And he said this at the beginning of the season, of his time at United, when he said that Man United players need to be able to run like mad dogs, right? The lack of pace in United's defense meant that they were being caught out too often from passes in behind. So Amorim has made changes. United now have the 11th highest defensive line in the Premier League. Of course, that could change in time as Amorim continues to make additions to his squad. If United sign a pacey defender, fans expect to see a return to high defensive line. We have a pacey defender already. Like, we have pacey defenders. Luke Shaw has pace. You know, as much as we want to, like, we've seen him do that in games. Matthias de Ligt, we all know he has pace. Our faster defenders, Matthias de Ligt, Luke Shaw, and Lenny Euro. And then most likely you can add Eddie Heaven to that, even though Eddie Heaven is still just growing, right? And Ruben Amorim said that in his post-match, where he said that Eddie Heaven is better, but now even better on the ball than he was in the first game. Obviously, you can understand the pressure that comes with playing in the first game and all of that, but it is what it is. Also, he talked about, he talked about, like, you know, opportunities for the players to improve. So what I would say is, instead of saying Amorim adapted, you say the players have started to understand the system and they started to adapt. Now, in other news, Bryan Mbeumo is set for Cameroon boost ahead of AFCON. It comes in the wake of chaos. Man United star Bryan Mbeumo is set to be given extra responsibility in Cameroon national team ahead of the African Cup of Nations. It has been a decent start to the season for Bryan Mbeumo, and he has instantly become the key player for Manchester United in attack. I think he's got basically 6 goals, I think, and in all competition 7 goals. The 26-year-old has scored 7 goals in 16 appearances for Man United, on top of one assist, but he will soon depart to take part in the Africa Cup of Nations, and it remains to be seen how United will perform while Mbeumo is out of the team. Amorim has several options to call up, including Mateus Cunha, Mason Mount, and Bruno Fernandes, if he plays his captain in the preferred role as a number 10. In his preferred role as a number 10. There may be also an opportunity for Chelsea to make his debut in the first team, but Amorim has been reluctant to play the youngster thus far. It has also been confirmed that whether it hasn't been confirmed yet whether Mbeumo will be available to take on Bournemouth on Monday night, but yeah, he will be. Obviously, as with the way we see things go, he's definitely training to play on Monday night. Other players said to be involved in the AFCON side include Amad Diallo and Nuzair Mazraoui. Now, Bryan Mbeumo to become Cameroon captain, that's the boost, right? The Cameroon squad is in disarray ahead of the AFCON, but something positive has come out of it for Mbeumo. Mark Brice was dismissed as manager, but insists he hasn't actually been officially sacked. That means two Cameroon squads have been selected. One contains United loanee and Cameroon mainstay Andre Onana, but he has not been listed in the squad that will be competing at the AFCON. The previous captain, Vincent Abubakar, has been left out of the squad like Onana, leading to a decision over the armband. According to L'Equipe 237, Mbeumo is set to be Cameroon's captain for the AFCON. At least Onana wasn't caught up in the chaos that surrounds the Cameroon squad, but hopefully he doesn't get bogged down with negativity if the tournament doesn't go to plan this winter. When do Cameroon play the first AFCON? Cameroon play their first game in the AFCON on the 24th of December with an opening match against Gabon at 8 p.m. They will also face Ivory Coast and Mozambique in the other group matches. Mbeumo is also set to wear the Cameroon captain's armband for the first time against Gabon, and he will also be aiming to guide the nation through the entire tournament. Now, that is what it is. It is what it is, basically. Just one of the most important things you could actually even like get in all of that. So yeah, Kobe Mainoo, we've talked about. Bryan Mbeumo now set for Cameroon as Cameroon captain, we've talked about as well. Now, Man United have completed the signing of a wonder kid. We'll talk about in a few. Then Manchester United also reports financials. We'll talk about in a few. The next one is Man United to make official £624 million announcement as Sir Jim Ratcliffe's Masterplan takes shape ahead of the January window. Man United have released their latest physical results for the first quarter ending September 2025, and there are some interesting ramifications for Ruben Amorim's side. Now, it is no secret that that the Glazers mismanaged finances at the club almost irreparably before they invited INEOS, and no money from the sale went into the club. Sir Jim Ratcliffe personally invested his money into the club after buying a share of the club, and since then embarked on a ruthless mission to save costs. Who remembers the live stream we did some days ago, or some weeks, no, about a few months ago, where we talked about financials. We talked about financials, or we talked about like basically they were talking about the sale of Man United, Saudi takeover, blah 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 blah, and all those things. And guess what? All those things happened, and now nobody's talking about that, the Saudi takeover. Nobody's talking about the Glazers wanting to sell and everything in between. After more than 18 months at the helm of Old Trafford, those measures are starting to bear fruit. And here is the ramifications Ruben Amorim's side, as explained by JRV Media head of football finance and governance, Adam Williams. Now we're going to talk about what Man United. What Man United's latest financials are. So we'll talk about that, and then we'll come back to this article, because we need to actually get a sense of what it is. So Man United's report for the 2025 financials, right? Man United released their 2025 financial report, reporting a decline in some areas compared to the previous year, as well as a net debt exceeding $1 billion. The highest since the Glazer family took over, family's wholesale took over in 2005, during which the club absorbed the cost of loans borrowed to acquire the club. So obviously the Glazers took a loan on the club, and the club will absorb the loans to generate the money that will be able to pay back the loans. Now, the club's total revenues decreased by from 143.1 million, which reported some time back, 3 months ago, to 140.3 million in 2025, and paired with slight drops in broadcasting revenue down 4.5%, matchday revenue down 1.1%, and commercial revenue down 1.3%. Despite the drops and the absence of European football for the start of the 25-26 season, the club's operating profile went from a loss of 7 million in 2024 to a profit of 13 million in 2025. So we're making profits, right? Also, these robust financial results reflect the resilience of Man United as we make strong progress. This should be according to Omar Berada. The robust financial reports reflects the resilience of Manchester United as they make strong progress in transformation of the club. Berada said, the difficult decisions we have made in the past year have resulted in a sustainably low cost base and a more streamlined, effective organization equipped to drive the club toward improved sporting and commercial performances over the long term. That has helped us to invest in our men's and women's teams, sitting in 6th and 3rd place in the Premier League and the Women's Super League, respectively. With wages, Manchester United's financial report follows a year of layoffs and penny pinching policies from Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the new INEOS leadership group, but the major cost-cutting appears to have taken place in the team itself. The club's wage to revenue ratio fell to 52% compared to 56% for the same period a year ago. According to The Athletic, the club's total spending on wages was 73.6% for 2025, down from 80.2% last year, making it United's lowest first quarter wage bill since 2020. United also have several high earners in the squad from before INEOS took over, notably Casemiro in the current team and Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho out on loan. The club's wages also decreased across the board with the absence of European football. Overall, the club's report is similar to recent years despite slight drops. The loss is in certain areas is easily reasoned with the absence of European competition in terms of television money and extra match day revenue. Now, just to give you a highlight of Man United's latest financial results as explained, before we delve into the details, here's a quick kind of rundown of the key points from the financial result, which I just talked about, from the other report. Man United owe around 624.1 million in pending amortization fees, which is more like pending transfer fees and stuff. We owe 624.1 million. The total revenue is down 140.3 from 143.1, but adjusted EBITDA, which I gave to you in one of the short videos we did, or long videos, it means like earnings before interest, taxes depreciation and amortization. So the EBITDA that was has been adjusted, but adjusted EBITDA is up 26.9 from 23.7. Employee benefit expenses are down by 8.2% over the prior year quarter, as redundancies effect clear. Now, broadcasting revenue down by 4.5% over the prior year quarter as no Europe effect is clear. New e-commerce model by INEOS drives 11% growth over the prior year quarter. Cost cutting became the theme of Sir Jim Ratcliffe's reign at Man United. While that didn't always happen with the sensitivity it needed, the core INEOS blueprint was followed. Now they have always walked into a business, streamlined the operations, put the structure in place, and wait as their actions start to bear fruit. In Man United's latest financial results, the actions are starting to bear fruit because as Williams explains to the United in Focus, the Masterplan is starting to take shape. Now, this is despite the club announcing that they owe £624.1 million in pending amortization fees, which means payment for players who are already here but whose fees have been stretched over the length of their contract. Williams also explains that wages are down, which is partly due to the mass redundancies and partly due to the step-down clauses in players' contracts because of no European football this season. They managed to more or less maintain their match day and commercial income despite no European football. They have also increased the prices at Old Trafford, which the Glazers didn't do for a very, very long time. And they are also moving to a new commercial model, which they hope can arrest the stasis that they have been in for a few years. If you adjust for inflation, Man United's commercial income has gone backwards over the last decade or so, when other clubs have doubled or tripled theirs. At the same time, amortization, which is how football clubs account for transfer fees over the player's contract length, is rising. They are burning cash too, with the balance decreasing from 150 million to 81 million in this set of results. They've also drawn down about £105 million on the revolving credit facility, which is essentially an overdraft. I think Ratcliffe will be quite comfortable with these results. When he zooms out on the graph, they are going to lose money again this year, but if the Q1 trajectory continues, then the shortfall will probably be lower than lower than quite a few others are expecting. Now, according to Williams here, he says there is nothing here that would stop them from spending in January. If that's the plan, and in the long term, I'll suggest that these financials are emblematic of the Ratcliffe Masterplan. Continue ruthlessly optimizing costs, increase core revenue, and get United winning again by brute force into the transfer and wage markets. Now, this article also says that Ruben Amorim and INEOS need a virtuous cycle. Ultimately, what can be learned from these financial results is the steps taken by INEOS, and that by INEOS have helped, but the biggest help they can give the club is outside their control, and that can only come with the club entering a virtuous cycle, which begins with success on the pitch. Obviously, that's what we want. Now, as soon as United start competing for trophies and become Champions League regulars, all the talk about the club ops being like operations being bloated will go away. The players hold the power in that case, because no amount of cost cutting will save the club from financial ruin if they aren't ensuring that there is a return on investment on their wages, right? As it stands, Ratcliffe's plan is taking shape as some inherent costs of running the business are down, but if United can start getting some return on all the amortized money by the players doing well, it will begin a virtuous cycle. Now, that's pretty much straightforward. Like, obviously, basically, Man United are planning a 624 million pound announcement with regards to trying to get ITN, thank you so much for joining. Trying to get Man United into getting winning, like getting this winning mentality, and trying to get United to actually get to a point where we can actually generate, funds, and we can actually help eventually build. And this is basically from an opinion piece, but I actually quite understand the explanation of what Man United have done with regards to the master plan, and I'll probably do a different video analyzing these two articles that we've talked about and basically breaking it down into details so that we can actually understand the financial connotations and financial implications of of this whole first quarter 2025, that's September 2025 business year, earnings and all of that. But it is what it is. It's one of those things where you have to just basically understand that, and then break even eventually when the finances when the things start to show, especially with the players playing well on the pitch. Women are doing well, just got smashed yesterday by Olympic Lyon. Obviously, it shows that we need to improve the squad. We need to sign more players in the women's team, more versatile, more aggressive, more durable players. But it is what it is. Also, Man United have in other transfer news, Man United completed signing of a wonder kid after Arsenal trial as recruitment vision becomes clear. A young defender who had trials at a number of Premier League clubs has joined Manchester United's academy as the club continues to add emerging talent to their ranks. Manchester United have completed a sign of 13-year-old prospect who previously had trials with Arsenal, Tottenham and Crystal Palace. The defender, known only as Socrates, has been praised to be for his resilience after being rewarded with his move to the Red Devils. United have also been prioritizing youth recruitment under Sir Jim Ratcliffe's ownership. Last season, they brought in Eddie Heaven and Chido Obi from the Arsenal Academy, while a reluctance to bring in Sergio Ramos suggests high-earning players over the age of 30 are a thing of the past. From ELA, this is basically, I think this was the post that he made on Instagram. Signing for one of the biggest clubs in the world, wrote London-based youth football organization Elite London Academy. Today we congratulate Socrates on officially signing for Manchester United. This kind of just went under the radar, but it happened today. Socrates has been with us for 5 years, so he's 13 years, so he came at the age of 7 or 8. 5 years of development, hard work and belief. From the moment he joined Elite London Academy, you could actually see he had something special. Technically gifted, intelligent on the ball, brave in duels, and always hungry to learn. Along his journey, we organized trials for him at Arsenal, Tottenham and Crystal Palace. He completed the full trials at these clubs, but these did not result in registration. Arguably missed opportunities for the clubs, but what makes Socrates different is how he responded. He didn't sulk, he didn't lose confidence, he showed resilience, maturity and mindset far beyond his age. According to ELS post, Socrates started out as a winger, but now plays as a left-sided centre-back, and he is said to have turned down a deal at another club because of the school opportunity offered, and is said to be continuing his education at a highly academic and selective school in Manchester. Now, off the pitch, this is according to ELA London Academy, off the pitch, he's actually the type of boy every academy wants: humble, well-mannered, intelligent, respectful and driven, the academy added. And behind him is a family who supports him in all the right ways. Patient, positive and trusting the process. This was what the posts had to say. Yeah, they had a really long post for this Socrates guy. We're going to be observing. He's 13, so we'll not see him until maybe the next 3-4 years. United have also been showing their academy talents that there is a pathway to the first team. Heaven and Obi have both played in the senior side under the head coach Ruben Amorim, while others, including 15-year-old prodigy JJ Gabriel. I think I saw a video of him wearing a Messi shirt, and this was some few years ago, and now he's basically playing well at Man United Academy. 15-year-old JJ Gabriel has trained with Amorim's squad while waiting for his first opportunity. Gabriel who was who has 10 goals in 11 games for United's under 18s, became the club's youngest ever FA Youth Cup scorer this week, and his goal against Peterborough proved to be the winner and showed why United are so intent on keeping him at the club amid reports of transfer interest from Barcelona. Now, basically, it was also reported that over the summer that Barcelona were particularly keen on JJ Gabriel. They're trying to get him, and eventually Man United rallied round and ensured that they keep the guy and make sure that we don't lose him and all of that. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. The news still keeps buzzing and stuff, but Man United have secured a 13-year-old talent in Socrates. We will observe, we will continue to observe, and then whatever we see or find out, we will let you know. Yeah, that is what it is. Then there's also this report that we keep seeing. We've talked about Kobe Minu. We've talked about the official announcement of £624 million. We've also talked about Man United's financials. We've talked about other things. I mean, we've also talked about Sergio Ramos not being interested. Man United not being interested in Sergio Ramos. Excuse me. And yeah, it is what it is. So a lot of things going on. So we'll just read some of the news. I think I saw this one, probably one of the ones I saw, and I just said I was going to talk about eventually. Let's see how things pan out. Yep. So I said I was going to talk about this eventually, and so where did there was this news I saw. There's this one that I saw. I talked about this yesterday. Manchester United are in talks with Liga de Quito to sign Ederson Castillo, or Castillo, depending on how you pronounce it in Spanish, along with several other clubs, including Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich, and Anderlecht. Manchester United see Castillo as a mix of Kante, N'Golo Kante, and Pogba. So, I mean, that means we're building a whole lot of midfield. We're building a pool of midfielders that could, become the future of Man United for the next couple of years. And then it's been a while. Yeah. So one of the things that ITN is saying, let me know anything you want to discuss. One of the things we have talked about is this whole Kobe Minu development plan. We talked about this yesterday. You said Kobe Minu is going nowhere. I remember that chat. But now it has come out that Ruben Amorim is working with Kobe Minu on certain things. And I think this is what Ben Jacobs had to say. I didn't say this earlier, but I'll say it now. Ben Jacobs had to say this about Man United working with Kobe Minu on certain things and stuff like that. And now, obviously, Fabrizio Romano came out and said Napoli are among 10 plus clubs keen on Kobe Minu since August, still very attentive to the situation. Deal depends on Man United's decision, as Amorim doesn't want to lose players while many are away for AFCON. Now, that report basically from Fabrizio Romano, kind of created, some kind of like thought on certain things with regards to how Man United is approaching the situation with Kobe Minu and stuff. But now, my question to you, which I would like your views on and your points on, is what are your thoughts on this whole Kobe Minu situation? Because I know that Kobe Minu will get a chance to play, but everybody keeps trying to put pressure on him as a potential, as he must have to get more game time if Amorim trusts him. They're trying to test Amorim's resolve to say, okay, you say you trust him, why don't you play him? Then there's also this news from Laurie Whitwell. So let me know your thoughts and feelings about the whole Kobe Minu situation. And do you believe that he's going to get more playing time? Do you believe he's also going to... and then what do you think, basically, from what you've watched, is his preferred position, basically, on the team? According to Laurie Whitwell, the aim has always been for Benjamin Sesko to be back against Bournemouth, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is at least in the squad for the game. Yeah, ITN is saying relax on Kobe. He wants Man United. He could be off easily. Got away on loan or transfer, but happy in Manchester. That's facts. Just that, like I said this on the live stream. I feel that Kobe Mainoo needs to, in his demeanor, show that he actually wants to be here instead of carrying that long face he always carries when he's being subbed on or something. And I think again I wanted to talk about with regards to Kobe Mainoo is the fact that I also think he's gonna get a lot of game time. I think he's gonna get a lot of like opportunities to play and all of that. But yeah, it is what it is. The AFCON is here. There's no how Kobe is not going to get minutes. He's going to get loads of minutes because of the match load and all of that. And we're going to get into this busy period, so he's going to get a lot of starts as well. Against Bournemouth, I'm sure he's also going to play, depending on how the game is moving or how the game is going and all of that. With regards to Benjamin Sesko, they say he's back on grass, but I saw the training video today. He wasn't anywhere near the squad, but obviously him, Maguire and Matthias de Ligt have not been anywhere near the squad. Matthias de Ligt, Maguire's on the longest, but Laurie Whitwell is saying that he's always been it has always been the plan for Sesko to be back against Bournemouth, but he will be surprised. He won't be surprised if he's at least in the squad for the game. Then, according to Ben Jacobs, and he said this on the United stand, a new name that Man United are looking at is Bournemouth midfielder Tyler Adams. So do you know his personal things, etc., girlfriend, wife, partners, these things are major, yeah? I see he wants to stay, so just be patient. Yeah, facts. ITN is saying that all his life is in Manchester and all that. He wants to stay and he will get playing time. I know this for a fact. According to Ben Jacobs, Man United are keen. I've added another player to their list, and that is midfielder Tyler Adams. Now we're going to have a quick look at Tyler Adams. He's a young player. I think he's 21 or 22, but we're going to have a quick look at him before we move on. Yeah, I was just looking at the Europa League games that took place today. So quickly on Tyler Adams, and that Bournemouth game, if he starts, will be his audition. I mean, we've been seeing a lot of auditions for different players for Man United, so I won't put that past anyone with regards to that. So for Tyler Adams, let's go to Tyler. Just a quick look at his profile, and then we can talk about him. Tyler Adams, I said, yeah, he's 26 years old, so he's quite experienced. 26 years, a defensive midfielder. Okay, I can understand why Man United will be on his list, but he's not really putting like really great performances over this last couple of. He scored some wild goals anyway. The last game against who did he score? The long range goal he scored from the middle of the field and stuff. Yeah, he scored that long range goal against Sunderland, but they lost 3-2, right? He's a right footer. He's good on the fast break. Yeah, his stats are not like out of this world. He's played for Leeds, RB Leipzig, New York Red Bulls. Played with the MLS All-Stars, MLS Homegrown, New York Red Bulls 2, MLS Homegrown, and New York Red Bulls again. So basically, started out from he's an American, started out from the New York Red Bulls situation, and then obviously he's played for Bournemouth for the last 3 seasons. So 23-24, 24-25, and 25-26. So he basically he did well in the last 2 years, and then for Leeds played 22-23. So he basically understands English football. And yeah, for his height, is basically, what's his height? 175 cm. So it's around 5'11", I believe. ITN is saying Rashford is the one who had those life terms, girlfriends and stuff. He couldn't hold down. He's same as Mainoo through the academy, but lifestyle is not helping them. Yeah, that's facts. Basically, with regards to Marcus Rashford, he also had a lifestyle issue, a lifestyle challenge, and all of that. But it is what it is. And I hope he succeeds, right? So Tyler Adams, basically, he scored. I think he scored 2 goals this season. How many goals? Tyler Adams has scored 2 goals and he has 1 assist. He started 14 games, played 14 matches, and that's 1,197 minutes. Average rating, according to FOPMOB, is basically 6.95. So cutting it close to 7. It's a defensive midfield. Greenwood also through the system, and again fell down because of lack of knowledge how to balance life. Another one we lost to a female interaction. Yeah, you can see some female, yeah, like what ITN is saying, basically just adding to what he said. You don't see Kobe Manu talk things like with Kobe Manu with regards to like girlfriend and stuff, or all this personal life out there. No, all you see is basically a player who's trying to put his head down and all of that. And I'm trying to get to the Ben Jacobs tweet where he said something about Kobe Manu is acting like a professional when he is basically as he is working hard and putting his head down to develop himself. Ruben Amorim appreciates Kobe Manu's quality. This is according. So basically, Man United interested in Tyler Adams before we get to that one, and we'll see him in full flow against Man United when we face Bournemouth on Monday. Look out for the match preview in the next couple hours. Everything's all done just to record it and put it out there. Ruben Amorim also appreciates Kobe Manu's quality on the ball, but he wants a safety net of midfielders, those who are able to either be in the right position to stop counterattacks or have the pace to get back quickly. And we all know Kobe Manu is not that fast, right? But also we can actually understand that Kobe Manu will eventually get there, right? He will eventually adapt his play to Amorim's system and get there. Manchester United are still hoping Kobe Manu can become a valuable player and force himself into the team over the Christmas and New Year period, which is a whole month of football with more than 8 games. Kobe Manu has been fine. The media has just got one else to get at the moment. Yeah, like the media has no one else to talk about other than Kobe Manu. Because you look at the Man United team, what are you going to say? What are you going to say about the guys? What are you going to say about this person? What has this person done? What has that person done? Nothing. So the media will always look for something to say and all of that. And then still on another squad player, you have Diego Leon's agent, Renato Bitar. He said we still don't have it clear if he's going out on loan now, but we have to keep watching. He's evolving, and that's positive. And the truth is, with regards to Diego Leon, I know he's going to get game time later on this season, but we have to also think about the fact that obviously you have to think about the fact that he hasn't even played the full 90 minutes yet, but he will eventually, evolve and eventually still play for Man United. And then Centre Devils, according to Ben Jacobs and the United Stand, is saying that don't be surprised if Man United start the January transfer window slowly, but business could pick up towards the end of the window. That's just speculation. We can always make of it what we will, and all of that. So it is what it is. Which other thing again, basically before we wrap it up, we already talked about the fact that Man United are reportedly eyeing a move for Sergio Ramos in January, but then ESPN came out to say basically that Man United are interested in Sergio Ramos. And then obviously Roma have opened negotiations to sign. This was 14 hours ago from Transfer News. Roma have opened negotiations to sign Manchester United and Netherlands forward Joshua Zirkzee in January. And then obviously we told you yesterday that I'll come to your ITN that Man United came out yesterday to state that Zirkzee is not going away. Zirkzee says he wants to stay, so that's pretty much straightforward. On that, ITN says Mount there, not saying nothing as good as has been, but he throws a bad game and they're in for him. Yeah. So Mount has not done anything, has not said anything bad, has been playing really well. Nobody's blowing his trumpet loud, but in the moment he has a stinker, boom, everything goes crazy. turns upside down. United, we understand the hate for United is real, and they want to keep us down and suffering, but life is real and things change always. So yeah, it is what it is. I mean, you see now they're trying to report another thing. They're trying to report like negative stuff, like Man United's net debt has climbed to a record 749.2 million. I've been hearing 740 something for a long time. So it climbed to a record 749.2 million after the club borrowed an additional 105 million from its credit facility. The 481 million debt stemming from the Glazers takeover remains unchanged. Excuse me. What do you expect? Like, you loaned money to buy a club. The loan is still going to be there unless you pay. Obviously, it's not something that Sir Jim Ratcliffe will want to pay for now. It's something that you have to do over time. And isn't it ironic that a lot of those news reports about the Saudi takeover and stuff has kind of died down? Nobody's talking about it again. Maybe things might work in the background, but it's not as easy because the Glazers already know that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has invested himself in the club. I just saw this one and just thought to bring it to you. Manchester City leading the race to sign Bahia wonder kid Dell, beating rivals Manchester United for his signature. 17-year-old has been compared in Brazil to Erling Haaland due to his explosive style, and he's already made senior appearances for Bahia, a club within the City Football Group. Obviously, they're going to lead the race. It's Man City that owns the club, right? So Man City's owners own the club, so they're gonna lead the race. Like, I don't know why this is it because they just want to throw Man United's name in it? He can officially move to Europe next summer, but City are pushing to seal the deal early in 2026. I mean, according to Team Talk, it's just, yeah, I mean, these are things that they just want to put out. Now, ITN, I just want to really get your take on this whole Baleba thing. Let me know your thoughts. Would you take Bali? Like, let me know, according to you, ITN. Let me know your thoughts, ITN, about this before we kind of wrap up everything. And let me know your thoughts in the comment section if you're watching this video, both on Facebook and on YouTube and stuff. What's your take on Carlos Baleba so far? The financial situation is a critical issue we need to address and be aware of. Then I keep Amorim as much as I hate him. We gotta take the risk and not sack. Yeah. Anyway, that is what ITN has to say. But let me know your thoughts and feelings about this whole Carlos Baleba thing, because Ben Jacobs came out and says Brighton sources don't state an exact asking price for Carlos Baleba, but they have cited Moises Caicedo's transfer fee of around 115 million pounds as a compensation, as a comparison. That's according to Ben Jacobs. For me, Baleba, I don't know. People are beginning to change their mind about him. Big content creators are also beginning to change their mind about him. Yeah. And then another midfielder that Man United could be interested in January here is Conor Gallagher. We talked about him several times on this channel. But Ben Jacobs is also saying that Manchester United see Conor Gallagher as a good try before you buy option if Atletico Madrid are open to a loan deal next month. So Conor Gallagher, I'm a bit touch and go on that one as well, but I wouldn't be opposed to getting him on loan. He would change some things in the squad. He would add an extra body and increase the intensity, and also give Casemiro a run for that position in defensive midfield, and also give him some rest as well. Samuel Lacoste is saying that no sign of Maguire, De Ligt and Sergio in training with Man UFC today. Jack Fletcher is involved. Yeah, and I saw one news, I think it was a Man United fan on TalkSport, and she was talking to Flex on TalkSport, and she was saying that, oh, where are the academy? I thought Ruben Amorim Amorim is good at playing the academy and all of those things, but that where are the academy players? What happened to Chido Obi? Like, what happened to Jack Fletcher? Jack Fletcher was in the squad for the final. What happened to Shea Lacey now? And Lenny Yoro? She started mentioning names, and I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, can't you see that there's a gap in quality, a disparity in quality of the players that are coming up in the academy, that they are not there yet? And Renari has kept on saying this, that he believes that the players, them training with the squad, will eventually help them to get up to speed with how the squad plays and what the plan is for the club. But then obviously the media will always want to be the media, and the hate for Man United always continues. Now ITN is saying Baleba signs tomorrow according to him. I have said it, I want Baleba for how long. I believe in him and he will be a player. Come on, he will be player. Come on, our midfield is trash. He says our midfield is trash. It is what it is. Right now, according to Simply United, right now, United's stance is firm. They will only agree to a loan with an obligation to buy, triggered if Milan qualify for the Champions League. This doesn't make sense. 15 hours ago, according to Luca Bian. So this is Luca Bianchin 7. That is Luca Bianchin. He has 27,000 followers on X, and Gazzetta dello Sport. Lex United view. He's a brother. Yeah. Sometimes I don't agree with what he says. But sometimes I don't agree with what he says, but I believe that obviously there is some sense in some of the things he says as well. Right now, my stance is firm. They will only agree to a loan with an obligation to buy, triggered if Milan qualify for the Champions League. For qualify for the Champions League, set at around £35 million. Milan, however, prefer a simple option to buy, not an obligation. Time is another issue. United will not approve a Xerxes exit early in January with Mbumba and Ahmad away at AFCON. The squad would be too thin in attack. As a result, Xerxes would only be allowed to leave late in the window, most likely in the final days of January window, no matter where he goes. I don't want that. I don't want Xerxes to go. I want Xerxes to succeed at Man United and so many other things. Yeah. Then there's news that there's a historical interest in Antoine Semenyo, but at this stage, other clubs are more serious about exploring a January move. And then according to Ben Jacobs, despite rumors linking Jean-Philippe Mateta to Man United if he is to leave Crystal Palace soon, Syria is the most likely destination at the moment. Yep, pretty much straightforward. Yeah. ITN saying big up Flex, said that that channel is at a level where they yo-yo on a real discussion. Yeah. But he built that channel. So yeah, basically, like what he's saying, they yo-yo on different discussions, but Flex has done a good job. Flex has done a good job to build the channel and all of that, and he says, I want you to get to that level. You deserve it if you work hard. Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. The truth is, we're slowly evolving, and I've built some connections, especially in the industry with content creation as regards to Manchester United. I have some friends now. I have some contacts. I have you as well, ITN. So there will be opportunities to kind of evolve and make this channel more of a situation where we're going to be having conversations with these content creators. There's Sal from Stretford Post. I mean, that's a good guy. I featured on his channel before, and he's asked me if he wants, like, he's asked that if I need him to feature on my channel, there will be an opportunity for that. So basically, there's loads of people, there's loads of content creators on TikTok that we've met, big content creators that actually do talk real stuff that I know that we're going to feature a couple times. I just haven't had the time. I was ill the last week and all of that, just recovering, and for the first time you can actually see me talk for like 10-15 minutes without actually coughing and all of that. So we're going to have conversations. I'm potentially going to feature someone, maybe not in a live, but when I work out the live dynamics, then we can do the live one where I'll feature someone and we will actually have proper conversation and break down all of these analysis and news and stuff. But it is what it is. Thank you so much, ITN, for your support and all of that. We'll get to that point, trust me. We're building. It's been over a year now, and we've been doing it. Now, that news I told you about before we wrap this up, and this is probably where we'll wrap it up. Kobe Menu continues to act like a model professional in Man United training, but there's growing frustration behind the scenes. The youngster believes that he's doing enough to earn more minutes, especially with the World Cup approaching. He's ready to be patient for a few more weeks to see if he gets starts during United's most congested fixture and period of fixtures, no doubt. So you can always count on me. I will support you always. Fresh points of views in this. Yeah, bro. Like, and you know what I like? I like the fact that we always have opposing views sometimes on some things, which is good. It makes the conversations interesting and the arguments to kind of make it, like, take it to the next level, so that I can actually hear the other side and not just have a lot of people agree with me or me agree with them and all of that. We could agree on some things, but also we could also have opposing views, which makes it all the more sweeter. So yeah, thank you so much for this one. I don't want to let it go. Man City and Liverpool could realistically explore midfield options, and their targets are similar to that of Man United. So Carlos Baleba, Elliot Anderson, and João Gomez. I don't see them going for. I see them going for João Gomez. I'm one of the players that will go for it. But it is what it is. I didn't get a chance to watch João Gomez against Wolves because he was suspended, obviously. But yeah, when the time comes, we're going to take the opportunity. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, ITN, for joining. We're going to have more conversations, and if you're watching this video and you like to share your views, I read and reply to comments, so drop them in the comment section, either on YouTube or on Facebook. Just let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.